I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along.
Here's a 2011 Spyder, Can-Am Spyder RT, which Grace and I own, and it's got a few kilometers on it. And over the summer it got increasingly harder to put into reverse, and then it quit altogether. So diagnosed the problem. Looks like a fitting on the reverse actuator had bent and got fatigued, and it wasn't allowing the reverse actuator lever to give a full stroke. So there was a bit of troubleshooting involved there, but we got it sort of nailed down, I hope. So we'll take these panels off and just show you how that goes. So the proper procedure would be to pop the mirror off, the air deflector, the mirror, and then this panel. But watching on the internet, the fellows have been able to get in under here without breaking anything and get this one screw out of the side panel. I think there's another one down here. So we'll see if we can do that. I think it's a T30 Torx. And then in by the trunk. Couple of darts in here as well, what I would call a dart. And that's it for plastic. So you can just see that actuator in here. It's this thing, I'll take it out and show you. Works on a little cable back in under the drive pulley to where the reverse interlock lever is. So there's an electrical plug, 2 screws under the actuator, and a couple of shims. If you look at the service manual, it'll explain that. And then there's 2 screws in the bracket, which a bit testy to get at, but not impossible. So the first trick is to undo the electrical connector. It's easier said than done. So it's a matter of getting in and squeezing the little release. You need small hands, and I've got them. Anyway, there, finally. You have to take that connector off first to get at the 6mm screw that's in behind it. There are the shims that are in underneath the front bolt on the actuator mount. Now your bike may have more or less. They talk about it in the service manual. Now there are 2 bolts that mount the actual actuator little cable mount bracket. Thankfully we can get them. So we managed to get the 2 bolts out of the bracket, and we wiggled the top connector where the cable connects, and there we have it. Now the problem we had was that this tube became fatigued and it bent over toward the actuator, and then there wasn't enough cable stroke to pull this up and allow reverse gear to work. So I tried to bend it back. Of course it broke right away, and so I threw a couple cable ties around just to hopefully it would work for 1 or 2 rides, but it didn't. So we bought a whole new assembly, and what we have to do is transfer the actuator and the tube to this bracket. This bracket didn't come new. There is one critical adjustment when you put this together, and it's explained in the service manual. From this surface to the tip of the tube is, I think it's 37mm, which is 1.5 inches, and that sets up the right angle. There's some adjustment up and down here, so I just sort of put it mid-range, and as the other one was, so we'll see if that works. Here's hoping. Okay, sorry, camera was off. Anyway, the bracket under the reverse actuator and the drive pulley went on easy. I've got the two shims in the front of the actual actuator mounting bracket, and the bolt started. So we'll see if we can't snug him up a wee bit by hand. Seems about right. Now if we can get that little bugger of electrical plug in. So as I said, we managed to get the two bolts in the bracket under the drive pulley. Got the cable engaged in the lever. Adjusted the tube to 1.5 inches. Hopefully it's still there. I got two shims in the front bracket on the actuator and both bolts in. So we're close to giving this a try. Now if we find the electrical connector, it's kind of a difficult thing to get out. I don't think it's as bad to get in. Not too much pollution in there. There. Now it's just a matter of putting all those plastic panels on. We'll give things a wipe down in under there. That doesn't see the daylight very often. Maybe lube the latches on that saddlebag too, they seem to stick. Anyway, that's a successful repair. Just a word on the parts pricing here. The cable assembly is available, I think it's about $67 Canadian from the local Can-Am Spyder dealer. The actuator also is available separately, and I think it was around $75, but you get both pieces together for $99. So because I didn't trust my troubleshooting all that much, I thought for another $20 and the delay in ordering parts in, I would order both. So if anybody needs an actuator, the only problem with this one is I skinned the wires for test purposes. They just need some tape or some heat shrink, but anyway, that's why I bought the whole works.